I will begin again from where we left. So I'm sharing my screen. Right. Let me know if the screen is visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll first again explain the windows. So, okay, starting from first. Okay. So what
Some
I
people are connecting. I think.
okay, okay. Is everyone connected? Because there's no one in the waiting room. I think I've admitted.
Yes, ma'am. You can carry.
Right? I think all of the people have joined in.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So moving forward. So I'll just jot down the steps again for us. So we start from where we left. First is you convert your scans into your 3D models, right? Your 3D model required is only of the maxilla and mandible. So you accordingly make masks that contain only your bones of maxilla and mandible, right? Then, in case you also want to go for a mandibular resection, it is important that you trace the nerve, right? So when you make the cut section, you can accordingly plan your cuts, or you can design your cutting plane, right? After we have completed the entire conversion of maxilla to mandible, segregation of the masks, what we then do is we will plan our plane or the cutting plane that we would want to start. We would want to consider. So that option is available. The cut option or the cutting plane option is available under the 3D tools menu. So under the 3D tools menu, you will have something called as cut. So this cut section gives you multiple options. One is with plane, other is with polyplane, with curve. So you can choose whatever option you want as per your requirement. So let's say I'm just choosing cut with plane. So what it does, it just gives me one single plane option, right? I'll just show you how. So this is object to cut. So let's first understand this window. Object to cut is basically I have to select my entity or my part which I would want to cut using the plane that I will draw further. Cutting plane is, suppose you already have planes drawn, right? Since I have already planes drawn with me, I have an option in the drop down as plane 1, plane 2. But what if I would want to draw fresh plane? Then there is something called as draw option. So when I click the draw option, if you see, my cursor will change into a pointer. This pointer does, it helps me give it multiple points. So I can use this, I can use this, and I can choose this. So what you observe is I could only give 3-point input to my plane. I gave 3-point input and it changed, like a plane was created. Now suppose I want to increase the length or change the position, what I can do is I can use these points. I can use this point. So basically what I'm now doing is I'm going on to that point, selecting it. Once I select the point turns green, and then I can move it anywhere in the region and accordingly plan the cut, right? So again, you can see I'm changing. I can extend. So basically you can change your cut section. So this is what your plane option does, right? So once we've understood this, and then like once you've created your plane, let's assume, and you want to cut it. So I'm just keeping this plane as is. Thickness of the plane I want to keep as 0.1, say 0.1 mm. I want to keep my original mask of the maxilla and I want to split my result. So I'm going to select this. You can also preview this, like how your part will look once you cut it. So I've just selected the preview option. Till it is happening, what I want you to notice is the cutting plane would automatically auto-generate a name. So right now the plane that I drew was plane 4. So you can see the name here. And this plane is, you don't have to calculate this plane separately. It can be visualized in your objects menu, as in the 3D objects menu, wherein you see all your different masks that you've converted to 3D. You can see your cutting planes being generated in the same
Screen is not visible.
yeah, it's happening. Actually, if you see, the process is happening, and that's the reason it's blacked out. The software will just be there in a minute or so. It's processing basically. So once the process is complete, we can see the software screen again. Yeah. So I'm now zooming in. What you can see is a thin black line visible. Is it visible? Right?
No, ma'am.
मैं और zoom in करूँ. ये दिखा अभी एक
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
पतली
ma'am.
सी line दिखी आप, right? You can also see there's a gap created, right? So basically, if I take this plane 4, this is what the cut will look like, right? And आपको ये gap क्यों दिख रहा है? Because मैंने यहाँ पे 0.1 mm का gap रखा था कि मेरा cut plane 0.1 mm से होगा. So you can see there's 0.1 का difference between the two entity, the bone one, like the upper portion and the lower portion, right? Now what I want you to observe is as we move backward, ये cut यहाँ तक ही है, right? Then you can see there's a discontinuation of the cut and then again you see the cut here. Is that visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just closing the preview and I'll let you know why this is happening. This is happening because can you see मेरा जो plane है वो यहाँ पे डिप हो रहा है, डिसकंटिन्यू हुआ, वापस यहाँ पे कंटिन्यू हुआ। राइट, सो व्हाट यू हैव टू विजुअलाइज इज बेसिकली कि आपका अगर प्लेन किसी सेगमेंट से राइट, I don't have to let this discontinuation come, right? If there's a discontinuation, what this will do is the software will keep that region intact. जैसा तभी आपको दिखा था वो वाले कट में कि जहाँ पे भी वो प्लेन डिप जा रहा था या बोन के अंदर था, बेसिकली इट वाज नॉट कमिंग आउट ऑफ द बोन, इट डिड नॉट टेक इट एज अ प्रॉपर कट सेक्शन, दैट रीजन विल रिमेन इंटैक्ट, बेसिकली वहां के पिक्सेल्स कट नहीं होंगे। तो आप जब प्लेन बनाएंगे तो आपको ये ध्यान में रख के बनाना होगा कि योर प्लेन इज कमिंग आउट ऑफ द बोन, right? So I'll just cancel this. So we still have a plane created, plane 4. I'll just close this. These are the other different planes that I had made. So if you see here, so what you can do is you can go to plane and properties, right? So I'm just closing the plane 2 and plane 3. So from the preview you understood that कि जहाँ पे भी ये dip जा रहा था आपका plane, वहाँ पे वो cut नहीं कर रहा था. So to increase this width or to increase its height, maybe let's say, what you can do is you can go to the properties. मैंने plane पे right click किया, drop down में properties select किया, then I go to the width and height section and I can just make it 150 by 150. I've increased it very with a very high number because I wanted you to see the difference. But अगर अपन इसको सिर्फ 75 by 75 भी करेंगे, so I think we will get a good optimum result. 75 by 75. So you can see now it would have taken a proper cut. मैंने शायद से इसको थोड़ा ज़्यादा नीचे कर दिया था, sorry. Align it correctly. Right. So this is your plane option. This is how you can cut using a plane, right? Any doubts in this? So then I'll move forward with polyplane. Right. So if you see, मैंने क्या बोला? मुझे plane में सिर्फ 3 point के ही option आते हैं. But what if I would want to plan the entire leftward cut, both for the left side and the right side, and together as one common cut? What I can then do is I can use an option called as cut with polyplane. So with polyplane, there is no limit to the number of points that I can add. First, again, let me explain this window to you. Objects to cut, you have to always select your objects to cut. First is your maximum. You now finalize your object to cut, right? Then I have to go to my cutting path. I am going to select a new cutting path. So once I select a new, if you see, my pointer or my cursor has turned into a pointer. Now I will have to give it points so that it can create a plane. So let this be my first point. So जैसे ही मैंने वो एक फर्स्ट पॉइंट दिया, आपने देखा रहेगा यहाँ पे सीधी करके एक नया प्लेन क्रिएट होना चालू हुआ. So that's your cutting plane 2. So any plane that you will make using the cut plane option will be named as plane 1, plane 2. With polyplane option, आपका plane का नाम होगा CP1, CP2. So that's how you can differentiate कि आपने वो plane कौन से operation से बनाया था. With plane operation से बनाया था या with polyplane operation से बनाया था. By the naming. Okay. Now going back to assigning points. This is my point 1. This is my, let's say, this is my point 2. Again, this is my point 3. Right? If you see the plane has not closed on itself, I can now further add a point 4 here. Somewhere here, right? I can add another point 5, right? And I can just keep adding the points. I am not preparing the cut plane right now. I'm just showing you कि आप कितने points, you can add as many points as you want, and then just double click it on the last point. So you see, as per your markings, the will be created. Right. So I'm just going to delete this plane. This I just made as a thing. So what I can now do is I can again go and I'll just hide that plane actually. Go to a new plane option. So my polyplane is visible in my simulation object. So I'll just let you know where it is. So your project management tab has three parameters. One is your image mask and measurement. The other is your object tab for 3D object. And then at the lower bottom, if you see simulation objects, snap and transformation. When I double click on simulation objects, the window will appear and I can see my polyplane. I'll just close my polyplane here, right? And now I'm going to now mark a new polyplane. So first point, second point. Let this be my third point. And again, I will mark my fourth point and I'll just double click it. You see that a plane has been created. Now, in case I want to adjust the angle, what I can do now is this red mark visible to you? A red conical shape? That is basically your axis from where you can rotate or make the movement. So, I'm going to hover over that. You can see there's a black point being created. I'm just going to use that as my tip and rotate it. So, that's how you will adjust your planes. Again, I'm pulling the points forward because I wanted to increase the length of it. I'm just pulling the points out of the maxilla. So I get my plane outside. Right? Now, if you see, if I go behind, my depth, I have to increase. Otherwise, it will not take the cut at this region. So what I'll do is, I will go back to the properties option here. I'll click on CP3. I'll go to properties. Right? Here I can increase the depth to say 40. Then I can click on preview and see how the depth has increased. The thickness of the plane is 1 mm. You can reduce to I think 0.1 mm. That's the minimum value you'll have to give. I have to increase it further so I can cover the entire board. That's like 50. Further to 60. Yeah, this should be good enough. Not from this side, I'll have to further increase it. Okay. So this is how my plan cut section looks. I can then click on OK. Right. Once I've clicked on OK, my plane is ready. Now using this plane, I can again cut. So I want to keep my original file. I want to split the mask. Right? I'm going to click OK.
इसमें क्या हुआ उसके इस पे स्क्रीन दिख रहा है प्रतिनिशा को
Ma'am, can you see the screen?
I think you need to share again.
Oh, okay. Because a function चल रहा है एक second में. I'll share again. I'll stop share and I'll reshare. Ma'am, visible है screen अभी?
अभी आएगा.
Okay, okay.
Yes, now it's there.
Yes. So the function is happening. If you can see my cursor is loading, that means the function is happening. जैसे ही होता है, we'll have two different entities formed in the maxilla.
हेलो कहाँ
Okay, so we have our parts created here. What I'm going to do is, yeah, so I'm going to just double click on the objects so that on the image that we have a question mark. Right. So I'm just going to move this forward. Now you can see what I'll do is I'll change the color of these parts. So you can see all that we had created here. So I'm just going to change properties. hiding my part 1. Right. So what has happened is, this is my part. Let's assume I am going to switch on my CP3. If we technically see, the CP3 is not going through and through my maxillary region. Let us see. Right. So what has happened is, it's not taken the bone cut at these regions where it is not moved through the bone, or where it is not passing through the bone. So that means that we'll have to recorrect our plane, right, and make it in such a way that the depth increases this region as well. So what I had done was, I had already performed this function, so I'll just highlight you here. So with correct planes, you will be able to achieve something like this. Right? So we have our cut section ready, right? Now, the next step would be to align the cast or the IO scan over this, because see, in the end, the splint will be created on the IO scan. So what we will have to do is, we'll have to perform the same simulation operation that we do on the maxillary bone on the cast as well, right? With the cast as well. So what we will do is, before we proceed with simulation, movement, angle, repositioning, and alignment, we will first import the maxillary scan or the maxillary cast into this project, right? And superimpose the cast onto the bone, right? Are we clear till this step? Do we have any doubts? So moving forward, what I'll now have to do is, I'll have to go to File, Import, STL. Right. So I think, so I am going to do upper jaw and lower jaw both. So once you've selected both the files, you can click open. Right. I'm just going to cancel this because I've already imported and kept the files. So it's here. Mandible cast and maxilla cast. Okay. I have zoomed out the region because I want you to notice that your cast will not necessarily come exactly where your maxilla or mandible is. They will come randomly anywhere in the coordinate system. So basically, this is your coordinate system, or the space around your CT. They will not necessarily come overlapping your bone, right? So now what we'll have to do is, we'll have to superimpose the cast onto the maxilla. So what I've first done is, I have renamed the cast as mandible cast and maxilla cast, right? So now what I do is, I'm going to close the mandible cast. Now we'll have to reposition this. So the repositioning option is available in Align. right? So I click on align, select reposition. You see below there's a properties window that will come, or repositioning the part box or window that comes up. Here what I'll have to do is I have to go and select the maxilla. Where is my maxilla cast? So I've selected my maxilla cast, right? So you have something called as, preset options, wherein suppose if I click on left, you can see it's moving in the left direction. Can you see? I'll just zoom on this. So if I'm just clicking on left, it's just moving on left to the left side. If I click on the right, it'll move to right. This is just using mouse clicks. But what if I had to manually move it? So that option is available here. Move with mouse. So when you select move with mouse, you get a properties window, move along axis. So you can either use the axis that you currently see, that is, or you can use a user defined axis. Like based on your convenience, you can define the axis. So I'm just going to use the view axis. The current axis or the current view that I'm viewing, based on that, I want to use the axis. So I'm going to use move with mouse. Right? I'm going to zoom this out. What I have to do is I have to bring this as close to the monitor as possible. I've selected the arrow, right? And I'm just dragging using that. It's a drag function that I'm performing. So again, I'll drag. So I'm trying to get it as close to our original maxilla as possible. Now I'm going to zoom in on the view so you can see. The positioning is just almost there. What I have to now do is I have to rotate. So there's an also option called as rotate with mouse just below that. So I'm going to rotate with mouse. Again, you'll have a similar rotate bounding box appearing. You'll have rotate along the views. Again, you can select either the inertia view or define a view for yourself. I'm going to go along the views and I'm just going to rotate it. Right? Okay. So when I see the side view, what I see is it's upside down. It's at an angle. What I'm now going to do is I'm just going to make it flat. Then I'm just going to go on the side view. Right? So I'm just changing the view so I understand how my maxillary cast looks like for each position. So I'm just changing the views continuously for that reason. So I understand. So now this is almost similar. It's just that the displacement is there. So to match the displacement between the bone and the cast, I'm now going to use, I'm just going to click on OK and close this window, right? I'm going to use something called as point registration. So this point registration will what help me do is, it will help me mark points on the cast and on the bone, and using those points, it will superimpose my cast onto the bone. So I click on, it's also again in the align menu itself. I'll click on point registration, right? Okay. So I'm just going to expand this for you. So this is the move option. So what I want to move, I want to move my cast. So I want to move my maxilla cast, right? So I've just clicked my option of movement as maxillary cast. Now I have to give landmark points, right? So landmark points is basically on the points on the basis of which you want to superimpose your model. So I'm going to click add point. So looking at this, I'm just going to select one point here, point here, right? I'm going to just click OK. So with just one point, it didn't occur correctly. What I have to do is I have to give it multiple options. So first is your maxilla cast, right? And then I'm going to click add point. So I'm going to select my first point here, my second point here. So this is my first point of correlation. Then I have to give further more points. So I'm going to use the second molar tooth here and the second molar tooth here. Again, I have to click on add point. I will give a third point of correlation again at the molars. So it's not specific. I'm just based on my convenience. I'm just giving it points. You can choose whatever points you are comfortable with. And then I'm going to click OK. I hope the difference is visible. Using point registration, what it has done is it has registered itself on the maxillary bone. Right? So point registration does not mean that it has exactly positioned itself correctly. What we'll have to do is after point registration is we'll have to go back to the scan. So I'm just closing my object view and going to my axial, coronal and sagittal view. Okay. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to set this as bone view so that we can visualize the tooth better. Right. So I'm changing the color of my maxilla cast to something in green. Okay. So how I did this was I went to maxilla, I right clicked on it, I went to the properties. Then in the color section, I just chose a color that is different than my original bone so we can visualize the difference better, right? So this is my maxilla cast, this is my maxilla. I'm just switching on the contours. Right. So I've come here. If you can see, it's exactly taking the tooth borders. Almost there. But here if you see, my tooth is going slightly below and my cast is slightly higher up. Let me zoom in again on this. So my tooth is slightly below and my scan is going higher up. Okay. So there's something again called as global registration. After point-based registration, to eliminate whatever small slight error that we are still further seeing, we can go on to something called as global registration. So I'm now what I'll do is I'll global register my maxillar cast onto my mandible. For this, I'm going to click global registration. Again, I will have 2 points. First is my movable part. My movable part will be my cast. My fixed part will be my maxilla. So I've selected my cast as my movable part. My fixed part is my maxilla. I'm going to select distance threshold as automatic, right? So the software will automatically take an input based on the positioning of the tooth and it will try and align it for me. Then I'm just going to click OK. You can also preview it if you want, but I'm just going to click OK. Right. So once you click OK, you will have an option called as would you like to create a copy of this object or object to transform? You can choose yes or no as per your requirement. I'm going to select yes because I want to retain my original as is.